We are here with assistant coach Bob Bender. Coach, Hawks take on the Chicago Bulls for the final meeting this season. The two teams have split the first two games. That last game that we lost up in Chicago, do you take something positive from that away, or do you try and put that one behind you?
Well, they both games sort of had the same type of outcomes. We pretty much had our way here at home. Obviously, they had their way in Chicago. What we've got to be able to do is look at the game in Chicago and look at the things that changed that allowed that to happen. Number two is recognize the fact that when you play Chicago, if you show any kind of frustration, they jump on that, and that's what happened to us in Chicago. That affected everything on the floor. It affected our offense. We scored, I think, 5 points in the second quarter, and so on the defensive end, if you allow that frustration to show there, they start going at you with those same matchups, those same plays, and they're going to milk something. So, from the very beginning of the game tonight, we're going to have to be in a position to dictate as opposed to reacting, because if Chicago gets you back on their heels reacting, it's a difficult task to beat them.
Well, they are just a big and physical team. How do we prepare differently for them?
Well, recognize that number one, they had their way in the paint. They just dominated the paint. This is a team that I think is very, very strong at the elbows. They set up so much of their offense of getting the ball to guys at the elbows. That opens up a lot of other things. So we have to take away where they want to get their comfort shots from, but also their counters. And to do that, we can't allow people to post us early, and we've got to be physical before screens are set.
All right, and the Hawks playing well lately, especially at home and offensively sharing the ball. You think they've kind of started to find that identity that they had at the beginning again?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we went through a tough stretch there where we were struggling in just about every phase of the game. And I think the reason being is that guys were, struggling individually and collectively that had an effect. Now I think we've gotten back to making the first available pass and making the simple play. That's led to guys getting the good open looks that they can get without having to try and create on their own. We're a much better team when that ball is played on one side, the second side, and people are making the extra pass.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Hawks fans, Saturday night, 7 p.m., tune into Sports South to watch your Atlanta Hawks take on the Chicago Bulls for the last time this season.